All righty. We should be good to go. What's up, everybody? If you're new here or you're watching the replay, welcome. My name is Markia. I'm known on social media as the Money Plug. I'm a board certified credit repair specialist and credit score consultant, and I use my platform to teach you guys the importance of credit, understanding kind of how everything works, fixing it, building it, maintaining it, all the important stuff, right? So I had some extra time in between class because that's what I'm doing this week. I told you guys I had a really busy week this week. So I figured I would kind of, go live. Let's talk for a second. So after the TikTok beef that I had over the law of permissible purpose, I've seen an increasingly large amount of people who are tagging me in they're tagging me in videos of other credit specialists here on TikTok, where they're spreading misinformation or they're just blatantly lying to people. And first of all, I want to say thank y'all because this gives me an unlimited amount of content to post. However, right. I really don't want to get in trouble for bullying. Like there's no other way to say that, right? There's no other way to say that. I really need people to be clear when I'm doing the series, How to Catch a Credit Guru. It's not the exposure, right, part of it, or let me take that off. I don't know how I got that on there. Remove it. There we go. So when it comes to me doing these, it's more so about the content and not about the creator. When I do these videos, I very, very rarely tag the creator because I don't want you guys ganging up on them. But at the same time, I do feel as though we have to start holding these people accountable. Hey, girl. I really feel like we have to start holding these people accountable when it comes to the content that they're putting out, because this misinformation is leading to people running into all kinds of issues. I mean, like the girl who was saying that you can get your accounts taken off using the law of permissible purpose, that was just flat out misinformation. The law of permissible purpose won't get your account removed. Now I've used the law of permissible purpose to remove inquiries. And if you follow me, we've talked about that in depth, but certain information, I really feel like, hey, Raquel, I just feel like, at the end of the day, I do put some of the blame on you guys. I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with y'all. Now I know y'all don't like when I say this, but when it comes to the content that you guys are consuming on social media, and it comes to things like this, your finances, there are a lot of very well-educated, very informative, very articulate, like they videos on point, the content's on point. There are some of those people here on social media. I would like to consider myself one of them. However, the most important part of consuming this information and applying it to your life is doing research. And I really feel like a lot of you are skipping that part when it comes to getting this financial literacy content off of social media. A lot of you are not vetting your source. A lot of you are not checking to see if this information is accurate. For the majority of you who are misinformed, you're so misinformed because you were so desperate to hear what you wanted to hear instead of knowing, damn well that the FCRA does not say that you do not have to pay debt. The FCRA does not say that you can get that shit taken off without paying for it. Somebody said it's laggy. Is it laggy for everybody on TikTok, or is it just that one person? Hold on. Let me see if I can refresh it. For me, it's not laggy because I got it up in a separate browser. Okay. So a lot of you know that this information sounds too good to be true, and you know that the information is inaccurate, but you're so desperate to hear what you want to hear instead of understanding the truth. When it comes to finances, the only person you are hurting when you choose to willfully do the research to make sure that whatever this person is saying to you is real, the only person you're hurting is yourself. Because you give your money to these people for them to tell you shit that you want to hear, and they take your money and they go. I know I just did a TikTok couple days ago, and I know I've seen it's making its way around the different Facebook groups and stuff, like the first time home buying groups and stuff like that. It was a lady in Houston. I'm not gonna put her name out there, but there's a lady in Houston who was just arrested on a $3.3 million credit repair scheme, right? She was filing fake identity theft complaints, fake fraud reports, stuff like that, to remove accounts from people's credit. Now, y'all know goddamn well that if it ain't identity theft, you're not supposed to say it's identity theft. But a lot of you are willing to take that gamble because you're so desperate. But that desperateness is going to get you fucked up. Because what do you think is going to happen to those people? What do you think is going to happen to those people who were affected by what she did? What do you think is going to happen to those people who know, and she has, and the police have evidence that they knew that the lady was committing fraud in the act of repairing their credit, and they were okay with it? What do you think is going to happen to these people? They're going to be held accountable. A lot of these companies are probably going to seek restitution too. Like, a lot of people don't take that into account because you're so desperate for a quick fix. Instead of all the money y'all paying these people, you could literally pay your debt off. You could literally pay your debt off, or at least start that process. But it's just so frustrating to me. And let me tell you, when I say all this shit, I say this and I run a credit repair company. But when I get on these platforms and I'm speaking to you guys on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, when I'm talking to you guys here, I'm talking to you guys because you could literally do this yourself. If you put half the energy that you put into bullshitting, if you could put that into fixing your credit or straightening out your finances, you would be able to do it yourself. And you wouldn't have to worry about people screwing you over. And you wouldn't have to worry about not being able to trust people. And you wouldn't have to worry about if the information they're putting out is correct or not, because you know where to look. You know where to check. And I really feel like, these smartphones, it's a lot different than when I was growing up. I'm only 29. But, we have you could literally pilot a spaceship with your cell phone. Like, that's how advanced these smart devices are. So just like you're watching my content and I sit here and I tell you, the FCRA does not say that you do not have to pay these items. It don't say that. You could literally get off the live, open up Google and say, what does the FCRA say I don't have to pay these debts? And it will literally give you an answer. And if you're worried about, okay, so who are some reputable resources? How about going to the people who wrote the laws? How about going to the FTC or the Federal Trade Commission? How about going to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau? Consumer.gov has a plethora of information for you guys to view and go through and highlight. I've literally uploaded both the FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and the FDCPA, which is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, in the Facebook group and the group files for free. Literally, because you guys said that you couldn't order them from the website. And so I really feel like there's no excuse at this point. And it's very frustrating. It is so frustrating to see these people not only manipulating and getting over on people, but to see that people don't care. And the reason why I brought that up is because I was on Facebook just now. Now, anybody who follows me, who've been following me for a while, or at least on my personal pages, y'all know I'm a troll. So I was going through the groups and the story came up of the young lady who was just arrested in Houston last week, or it might have been Sunday. And in the comments, everybody was like praising her. Everybody was like, she's doing the Lord's work. Oh, they've been robbing us for years. She just doing whoop-de whoop-de whoop. And it sounds nice. And I truly, truly empathize with where everybody is coming from. But the law is a law for a reason. And if you are breaking the law to get something, that doesn't make it worth it. I'm sorry. For example, these CPNs. I even had to do another CPN video today because I keep getting tagged in videos of people saying, CPN's not illegal. Y'all just ain't doing it right. Listen, the concept of a CPN is not illegal. The CPNs were invented because when the Privacy Act came out, it said that you do not have to provide your social security number on any application unless it is federally required. And even when you fill out credit applications, you don't have to give them your social, but refusing to give them your social is going to prevent you from getting a decision or getting the decision you want, right? So, and that was how the concept of the CPN came about, right? And just like with any other scam, every scam is based in fact. Every scam comes from a reputable something, right? So like they took that, and what the CPN originally was designed for was to conceal some of your information. Now, I don't think it's no longer called a CPN, what they do now, because y'all fucked it up so bad. But what it does is it gives you a number that is formatted like a social security number, and it's supposed to conceal some of your personally identifiable information, such as your social security number, maybe like your real name or something like that. However, originally, the CPN was tied to your original consumer history. So it wasn't hiding your history. It was just hiding certain pieces of your personal information so that the public could not get access to it. But of course, y'all came and fucked that up, right? Y'all started selling CPNs, right? And using the CPNs to get credit for things that you were denied for previously. I am here to tell you, and I will bet every fucking dollar in my bank account that I'm right. CPNs are illegal. The way you guys are advertising them, buying them, selling them, using them, that is illegal. Using a CPN to conceal your consumer history in order to qualify for things that you normally would not qualify for is fraud. That is a felony. Y'all do realize that anything having to do with Social Security numbers is tied to the Social Security Administration, which is a federal entity. So when y'all commit a crime, right, using Social Security numbers, that is an instant felony. That's Fed time. That's not you sitting in a county jail. That's Fed time. You get a felony, and if you're a nurse, you lost your nursing license. If you get a felony and you're in the military, bro, you might as well just kiss your career goodbye. So many of you are low-key ruining your lives trying to get these quick fixes, and it's sad. And then another thing is that a lot of you don't understand that with CPNs, the majority of these people, especially if you in like South Miami and Atlanta, the majority of these people are not just giving you random numbers. They are giving you numbers for Social Security. They're giving you Social Security numbers of other people. So like babies, elderly people, dead people, like they're selling you someone else's social, which now makes you complicit in identity theft. That's a whole nother charge. Like, you see where I'm going with this? And literally all you have to do is Google it, but y'all don't want to. You don't want to get the actual information. You don't want to learn. You guys just want a quick fix because you want this car and you feel like you've earned this car. So you're going to get that CPN to get this car. Or a lot of you know that your finances are fucked up. You put it to the back of your mind because you figure it's not important. And then when you do need it, you don't have it and you're screwed. So you feel like your back's against the wall and you have no choice. At the end of the day, a lot of us have to start taking accountability for the positions that we put ourselves in. And as somebody who personally was in this shitty situation, right? I was in this shitty situation. I had to take accountability. In order for me to truly change the position I was in, I had to not only accept accountability, like I am the reason I am in this situation, but I also had to go back and look at the decisions that led to this. Like what led up to this? Because when you could pay somebody $1 million to fix your credit and they could clean it up, right? Like maybe they will be able to get everything negative off. But what a lot of you don't realize is that if you never changed the mindset, you will continue to repeat the same actions that got you back in this predicament in the first place because you never changed your mindset. And if there's really no consequences for an action, you're going to keep fucking doing it. So if I'm not penalized for the stupid decisions that I was making with my finances, or thank you for the rose, or if I got out of it, you feel what I'm saying? I'm going to keep fucking doing it because there's no consequence. I tell people this all the time, especially my clients. I'll be like, the reason I procrastinate so much is because I'm so fucking good at it. I could literally wait to the last second and just bang it out. And that's why I continue doing it. It's going to take me one big fuck up, right? One big fuck up for me to be like, all right, I ain't doing that no more. But a lot of you don't have that because a lot of you are doing the credit sweeps and the CPNs and whatever else it is to finesse your way around the system. It's going to catch up with you. It is going to catch up with you. You cannot buy a home with a fucking CPN. It's not going to happen. I promise. It's not going to happen. Like, and yeah, you might have got this car. You might have got this car. You might have got that apartment, but I promise it's going to catch up to you. It always does. And it's always when you least expect it. I sent a Google letter to Navy Federal for my husband. They sent him an email back stating, due to him not disputing inaccuracies, they can't process the crest. What the fuck does that mean? Okay. So a lot of times when you guys are sending these goodwill letters in, most companies are just processing them as disputes, which is not supposed to be what happens. Maybe if you tweak the template a little bit, and what I mean by that is when you initiate a goodwill letter, that's not you disputing the late payment. That's you acknowledging that you were in fact late. However, that's not an accurate depiction of your credit worthiness. You pay your bills on time. You just fucked up once. You're just asking for forgiveness. You're not disputing the information. However, when they saw your letter, they instantly flagged it as a dispute. And because they flagged it as a dispute, they realized that, okay, you're saying that this information isn't correct, but you never submitted a formal dispute. So we can't do anything with this. what you're going to want to do is you're going to pretty much repeat your request. Just add a little bit more in there. You'd be like, thank you for responding to my goodwill letter request. However, I'm not disputing the information that's reporting. What I am asking is I am asking to be forgiven for the late payments that are on my account. Outside of the 1, 2, 3, or whatever the hell it is, late payments on my account, I've had excellent payment history. I have an amazing relationship with this company. I tell everybody about this company. I recommend you guys to everybody. I think we have an amazing professional relationship, and I would like to continue this amazing professional relationship. And I really feel as though, if forgiven, I can really show you and utilize your services to the best of my ability. That was good. That's a good one. I know that was a lot. So, and for those of you who are late, welcome. Or if you can't stay the whole time, that's fine. I'm currently streaming live on YouTube as well. And I know TikTok and Instagram really give me a really hard time with saving my lives. But if you look up here, well, I guess you guys can't see it, huh? But I'll put it in the, matter of fact, if you click the link in my bio on Instagram, it'll take you to it. But, oh, sorry. Damn, I forgot my camera's mirrored. So if you look over here, WWTMPD, What Would the Money Plug Do? That's the name of my YouTube channel. You guys can subscribe to my videos. All of my lives are recorded and saved on the YouTube channel for you guys to go back and look at later. Tell me Marquia can make a 100-word essay without telling me. I think that's a military thing from let me tell you one thing about me, and anybody will attest to this, I am always late. Always late. So I used to have to write a lot of essays because I was always late on the importance of being on time and accountability. I'm real good at on the spot. Does it matter if the account was paid off and closed? It was an auto loan. My brother bought the truck for my husband, so the loan got paid off anyways. Ooh, so that does matter. So how you handle late payments on an open account and how you handle late payments on a closed account are two different things. Now, when it comes to an open account, that's when you would use the goodwill letter, right? Because you still have that continuing relationship with that lender. Now, when the account is closed, it's a little bit different because technically there's no incentive for them to change that late payment. They're not getting anything out of it, right? And so what you want to do is you can still ask, right? I always say you never know what you can get by asking. So always ask first. And then if they tell you no, like they just did, something that you could do is you can request a copy of all of your payment history. They need to send you in a complete history associated with that account. And then each individual late payment, what you can do is force them to validate that. What evidence do you have to support your statement that I was in fact late on the 6th of September in 2019? You get what I'm saying? Force them to validate each individual late payment. Now, listen, at that point, if they can do all that, fuck it. Like you already lost the points for the late payment at that point, and time has passed. You have to understand that the older a late payment is, the less of an effect it has on your score. And as long as you are, and we've talked about it, right? We've talked about adding positive accounts in the meantime, maybe get a couple of those prepaid credit cards so that it can add that payment history that you need. But you really want to, in the meantime, in between time, make sure that you're still doing everything you're supposed to effectively build the credit, because that way, no matter if it's removed or even if it stays and just ages off, you will still be getting those points. It just might not be as quick as you want. I had to do a 10-minute speech on the importance of punctuality. No, for what is up with, listen, in front of the whole company on Friday for the safety brief. Bruh. And I still would be late. I did not learn my lesson. Let's see what other questions we got. Somebody wrote a question while I was talking. Hold on. How can you handle a collection that was paid after it was sent to collections? So this is kind of very similar to the question about the late payments. When it's a paid collection, technically you didn't negotiate the removal and they don't have to take it off. Now you can always ask them to remove it since the account is paid. However, they don't have to because there's no incentive for them to do so. Normally when it's unpaid, I would just say, hey, negotiate a pay to delete. Say, listen, I'll give you X amount of dollars in exchange for you to stop reporting to the credit bureaus. And I know a lot of times you guys will hear people say, we can't not report. The only time that is actually accurate is with companies that are the original creditor. So the accounts that are charged off. When it's in collections and owned by a debt collection company, that's also the very important kind of asterisk, right? It has to be owned by a it has to be owned by a debt collection company. When it's owned by a debt collection company, they are considered the data furnisher now. They are the one providing the information. And so you can negotiate the removal of this account because they don't have to report it if they don't want to. Now, if it's a charge off, it's something different because they have an obligation or a duty to report the history associated with the account. So since your account is in collections and you've already paid it, you can ask first. But if that does not work, what you could then try to maybe do is force a debt validation, because if they can't prove the validity of the debt, they have to stop reporting. And a lot of times it's not worth doing an investigation because the account is already paid and they'll just stop reporting. But again, because you didn't negotiate the removal prior to issuing the payment, they don't have to remove it if they don't want to. I've been on his ass about his credit and how important on-time payments are. He doesn't like me being on his ass about it, but his credit has went from 450 to a few point shy of a 700. So, girl, I don't know what it is about husbands, because my husband, for those of you who are familiar with the Soldier for Life process, my husband's getting out of the military. And so he's going through Soldier for Life, and there's a requirement where you got to get a budget done. And I'm in here working. Mind you, I'm in class. So I'm in here working. And he's coming in here every 2 seconds talking real loud so I understand the question the lady asking him, like, what's the interest rate on the truck? What's the interest rate on the van? How much we pay for this? And I'm looking at him like, do you not fucking pay attention when I talk? Then, y'all, this was the point when I just realized, like, maybe third time's the charm. Maybe I need a new husband. Y'all, my husband gonna sit here and tell this fucking lady, and I heard it because my door was open. The lady gonna say, well, do you know how to build, like, what kind of things you pay that build your credit? This fool gonna say, well, my name on the this fool gonna say, well, my name is on the internet. You know goddamn well the internet do not report to your credit. And as a credit, I'm the money plug, y'all. I have 200,000 fucking followers on TikTok. And to hear my husband, who sit here and help me edit my videos, and he sits here and he approves all of my content and everything, to hear him sit there and tell that fucking lady that, I was like, please don't tell a lady what I do for a living, because I'm gonna be embarrassed. Like, I'm gonna be so fucking embarrassed that you just sat there and said that to the lady. I don't know what it is about husbands. I don't. But when it comes to finances, they just not paying attention. If there's a term of 1 month on a paid charge off, is that a false representation of a trade line? It can be. So if there is a history associated with that charge off and they're not reporting it, low key, that's their prerogative, right? But what you could do is you could then call into question the validity of that 1 month. Like, so how do I know that this account was ever charged off if you can't even prove to me the payment history associated with the account? I don't even see where I actually missed a payment. You see what I'm saying? So technically they don't have to report all of the payment history, right? But you could use that lack of information on your credit report to bring the validity of that debt into question. Because remember, whenever the validity of a debt is in question, they cannot report on it again or attempt to collect on it until it's been proven, until it's validated. Due to some health issues, I recently had to let some bills become 60 days late. It's embarrassing, but do you think I should try to negotiate a settlement when I get the money? I always say when it comes to things like settlements, that's a personal prerogative. Girl, don't be embarrassed. And that's another thing. Now, and you know how I am because I've talked to you. Don't be embarrassed. When it comes to, you feel I'm saying, missed payments or like shit happens, you were sick. You feel I'm saying? That's a human thing. Don't you ever be embarrassed about the things that you go through, because you go through them for a reason. The things that you go through make you a better person. So this little struggle you in right now with your credit is going to make you a better consumer. When, I don't know if you got kids or once you start having kids, you'll be able to teach them like, damn, I remember when this happened, because you got that experience. You see what I'm saying? So don't you ever think that you need to be embarrassed or, like you don't ever need to feel that way about anything that you've gone through. Now, if you have the money, or like, don't plan for money you don't have yet. Let me say that. Because you could say right now, like, all right, I'm gonna pay y'all off when I get the money. And then life happens again and you just don't have the money, right? So you can't say that. What I would say is take it for what it is. If you can't catch up and the account is charged off and you don't have the money to settle or pay it right now, try to explore some other options. Maybe they will consider if they allow you to post-date a payment. Like, let's say you get paid on Friday. I ain't got the money today, but I'll have the money on Friday. So on Friday, I will make a payment in the amount of this. You see what I'm saying? Always tailor your settlements, or if you're even going to pay, to what your current financial status is. You don't want to be like, all right, I'm going to settle, I'm going to do this, and then you don't have it. It just feels like a setback, but it's a learning experience. It definitely is. And I tell people all the time, a lot of people think that success is linear. It's just from backwards to forwards. It's just like an arrow. It doesn't work like that. I really feel like success is really like public transportation. It comes when the fuck it wants to, and it's going to leave quick. The one time I don't show up on time, it's going to go without me. My bus is going to break down, and I'm going to have to get on another one. Like, success is it's not like that. Or being successful or accomplishing something isn't like that. That good credit is a journey, not a destination. I guess that's a good way to say that. And that journey is different for everybody, but these negative experiences that you're having don't make you less than or doesn't make you a bad person. Y'all know I say it all the time. Bad credit don't make you a bad person. It just means you've been through some shit. We done all been through some shit. It's just that your scars are a little bit more visible than everybody else's. So don't think like that. Let's see. How much is your credit audit? It's $100. I'm the more credit focused one between us. I feel like it has to be like that. One person's hyper focused on it and one person just don't give a fuck. How can I utilize your services? My credit score is going up, but I can't get approved for cards. So if you click the link in my bio, that'll take you to my website, and it lists all of the services that I provide, as well as like prices associated with each, how to sign up and things like that. If you're interested in doing DIY, I do have a Facebook group. You should see it scrolling at the bottom where it says plugged in the credit clubhouse. So if you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see it. I know you guys can't see it, and I'm sorry, Instagram, they really be doing y'all dirty. But yeah, if you're on Facebook or Twitter or something like that, you should be able to see the banner at the bottom, and it has my website as well as my Facebook group name. As video editor, you tune out to what's being said most of the time after a while. No, for real. Will student loans remove late payments? So here's the thing with student loans, right? What I've seen be the most successful when it comes to federal student loans is when you go to your loan servicer and see what kind of rehabilitation programs they have. Are there any testimonials from previous clients? I know I just seen Ernestine in here. I know I just saw her, but if you go to Google and just Google the Money Plug, LLC, there are some reviews on there. I think I've posted a couple or something like that. But yeah, they're kind of all over the place on posts, in the comments, stuff like that. So I always say rehabilitation is always the first option when it comes to federal student loans. So always go to them and see what they can do for you, because sometimes they do have programs where like, all right, well, if you make on-time payments for 18 months, we will take your student loan out of default, or, and we will, update your payment history to reflect that, or whatever the case may be. But you always try to rehab your student loans first. And then when it boils down to it, they're not going to remove the late payment. So if you really, 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 really want it gone that bad, and you've already kind of did the pro and con of removing this account, then removing it would be your best option. Do you do simple services like delete old addresses? I wouldn't even pay somebody to do that. Like, when it comes to removing old addresses, y'all better not be out here paying somebody for that. That's something super simple. All right, so let's say, first of all, the first step should always be to just do something basic. You write a letter, you include a copy of your driver's license or some kind of photo ID, and then something that verifies your address. Usually I tell people like a W-2, a utility bill, or something like that. Now, in the letter, all you're going to type is, this is my name, this is my address, this is my date of birth, this is my social. And you're going to go through your entire personal information section and put what is supposed to be reporting, right? And so if that does, let's say you send it in and they send it back like, well, we can't remove this information because there are accounts that are reporting this information. So for the majority of you that cannot get this personal information removed, not the majority, actually all of you, that is because this information is being reported by another company. So first you need to be able to identify who the fuck is telling people that this is my address, right? Like, where did you get this shit from? One way that I figured out how to go about looking at it is on Experian, right? Is it Experian? Yes, it's Experian. When you go like you're going to submit a dispute on Experian, it gives you access to a special report. And that report has something next to each address known as an account number, right? An address identifying an account number or something like that. That account number is associated with the account that is reporting that information. Now, if you ever like look at the back, I call it the back door of Experian. Literally, it has like way more addresses than what you would typically see on like Experian.com. It's probably like the history of every address you've ever lived at in life. And so next to each one, you'll just see a set of numbers. And then when you go down to the accounts, you will see that next to each account, it's going to have an address identifier. That number is going to match that address. If you can identify which account is reporting that address, you could do a more targeted dispute directly to that account. And that way, that would sever the tie that address has on your credit profile and make it easier for you to remove it. doing things like a debt validation with that account so that that account stops reporting, and things like that. Now, to prevent stuff like this from happening, every time you move, you need to update your addresses. So if you have open, actively reporting accounts and you've never done this, you might want to reach out to these people to make sure they have your most up-to-date information. You want to check, and I'm talking about everything: debit cards, credit cards, car loans, student loans. You never know who could be reporting that information. But I would not pay somebody to do that. That's something that I know it sounds, I know I make it sound easy when I say it's just a letter, but honestly, it's not as complicated as a lot of you are psyching yourself out to be when it comes to disputing personal information specifically. Because the important thing is to show them what's supposed to be reporting and then prove what's supposed to be reporting and then kind of go from there, instead of writing down each and every item that you want removed. That's going to take you a while if you have a lot of addresses. And a lot of times people have issues with the credit bureaus, like they're just not wanting to investigate and not doing anything. So then you can instead take that same dispute letter and send it to every single third-party reporting agency. Because if the third-party reporting agencies update their personal information section, it's going to automatically update with the big three because that's where they get their information from. I did the credit audit and it was helpful today, to say the least, but also you can fact check her. Facts. I meant to ask about that. So a boyfriend finished a rehab from the U.S. Department of Education and now it's with Great Lakes. But U.S. Department has the balance still listed under multiple accounts, but Great Lakes is one loan. So it's still going to report. So for those of you who had your student loans transfer or consolidated, the old accounts are still going to report, and the history associated with those accounts are still going to report. I have a video on my YouTube channel about how to remove student loans. Y'all know how I feel about removing student loans, so I'm not going to lecture y'all, but if that's just what you want to do, I'm not going to judge you, right? Out loud. But I'm not going to judge you for real. If you want to remove your student loans, I do have a video on my YouTube channel that kind of tells that process. One of the ways that you could try to get it removed is very similar to a debt validation. Whenever your debt is consolidated, the original loan is considered closed and paid off, right? And now this new company has it. And so a lot of times when it's paid, their record keeping isn't really up to par. They're just going to keep the part that's paid. So if you request a copy of your promissory note with your signature on it, which is the item that ties you to that account, and they can't provide it, they have to remove it because there's no evidence supporting their claim that you are the party that owes that student loan. So as long as Great Lakes is reporting at least one payment on time, and if your payments are deferred, that still technically counts as one payment, then you can try that tactic to try to get the old account removed. 750 and higher are pretty much the same category. 800s really don't matter. That is actually true. Now, obviously, right, the higher the better is what they preach, and, perks and blah, 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 blah. But after a while, it's truly cosmetic, right? Because there's nothing that you qualify for at 770 that you can't get, right? And unless there's some extenuating circumstances. And if there's extenuating circumstances, it doesn't matter if your credit score is an 800 or even an 850, you're still not going to fucking get it. I have a car that was repoed 6 years ago, but it's still reporting as open on my credit. I don't know. It reports late every month. That's actually loan, like that's lender specific. If they have not closed your account out, then they haven't closed your account out. Like, you can't force them to close your account unless you can prove, let me say that, unless you can prove that they did not sell your car and they still have it and waiting for you to pay for it to get it out. Does that make sense? So if you have evidence to support your claim that not only did y'all take the car from me, but you sold it and subtracted the amount from what I still owe, you could use that. But again, that's not even going to get you a removal. At most, that's going to get you an update. Damn, they're fucking you over, but low key, it's legal because technically the debt is still owed. So think about it like this. Even though the account is sold, that payment is still due every single month. Whenever your car is repossessed, your payments are still due every month until that balance is completely paid. So if they have proof that, yes, they repoed the car and everything, but they still let you know there's a balance left over and you still are on the hook to pay it, they could still force you to make that payment every month until it's paid off. Yeah, damn, that's crazy. 6 years. Do me a favor. DM me on Instagram, Nikki, DM me on Instagram because I want to get you a second opinion, because I feel like there's something in the back of my head that's like, hey, what about this? But I can't pick that. But I'll send it to, I have a guy I send questions to when it comes to like consumer law and like suing and litigation and stuff like that, because I'm just going to run it by him to see if you got reason for pause, if that makes sense. So send me the details about, like, just tell me a little bit about your repo and stuff in my DMs, and then I'll send it to my guy. Speaking of, we got a call from the bank that repossessed the car, and they said they put it up for repo, and the repo man found our address, so it was legal, but they never sent us the letter or figured out how they got into the gate. So, but that's the thing, like, that's because a gated community is considered private property, and you cannot trespass. You can't trespass to repo a car. That would make it then an illegal repossession. And if it's an illegal repossession, you can use the fact that it's an illegal repossession to get that repo removed from your credit. So, yeah, something's not sitting right with that. So pretty much with this company, what it sounds like this company is telling you, like, we not the ones who committed the illegal repossession. So that way they're trying to argue that the repossession status for the vehicle was valid, so they did have a reason to come get the car. However, the process in which was used to repossess the car, that is what made it illegal, and that should not hold them responsible. That's what they're trying to tell you. They're trying to put everything on the repo company, essentially. So now you should get the information for the repo company and talk to them directly, the company who came and got it. So you see the repo company instead. Well, it depends. If they can prove like, yo, like, no, they told us X, Y, Z, like, it just really depends on the evidence, right? So I would reach out to the repossession company and be like, listen, you guys repoed this car on or around this date from this location. This was considered an illegal repossession because you trespassed on private property in order to recover the vehicle. And so if you guys are going back and forth and they acknowledge that they've done that, then yes, you have grounds to sue. However, again, because I keep saying I don't know y'all state laws like that. It depends on your state laws, number one, and what they say. Like, and a lot of people don't understand that that's how the dispute process go. I know you guys be watching these videos and y'all think it's really cut and dry. You just send this and it's going to instantly come off. It don't always go like that. There are situations that require you to say some extra shit or leave some stuff out. This is why you have to have at least a basic understanding of the dispute process and kind of like your rights as a consumer, because when you know stuff like this, it gives you more leverage. The repo was done in Maryland, but the bank was in Pennsylvania. What state did you live in when you signed the loan for the car? Let me ask you that. What state did you live in when you signed the loan for the car? Oh, shit. I ain't been checking them other comments. Sorry. Okay, we good. PA. Okay, so then you're going to want to go based off of Pennsylvania's repossession laws. And you really want to hone in on trespassing private property and how to conduct a repossession on private property. And then when you reach out to the repossession company, you're going to show them proof that you lived in the private property or whatever the fuck, right? You lived in this apartment complex. The apartment complex is a gated community. The gate was closed and you got in somehow. You got in under false pretenses, right? That's considered trespassing. And so in that act of trespassing, that violated my consumer rights because you illegally repossessed my vehicle. So like you get what I'm saying? It's like if you can prove the chain of events, you got a case. But that's going to require you to reach out to that repossession company for sure. Damn. I hate when it gets that detail. Yeah, dig deeper. What a lot of y'all fail to realize is that these companies, and I'm not saying you, but everybody else, a lot of y'all will start disputing and then get frustrated and don't want to do it no more. You don't want to do it no more. You're like, fuck it. It didn't come off this one time. I'm done. Don't give up. That's what they want. A lot of times they make it harder for you because they want you to give up. Because if you give up, they can keep reporting on it. They don't expect the average consumer to know these things. These things aren't taught in schools. These dispute processes, consumer protection laws, and things like that. This shit isn't taught in school, so they're not expecting you to know it. So then when you come up looking like you know something, first thing they're going to assume is that you're working with a credit repair company, which is not illegal. However, they're going to be like, oh, we need additional information because they really got to get the A-team in on this to make sure that, they don't fuck this up. So then while they, doing that, it kind of gives them more time to get their guns in order, like the ammo together. Regardless, it falls off 6/20. Yeah, but that's 2 years from now. Oh, I would be pissed. That is 2 years from now. I really hope this works out in your favor. I truly do, because this is ridiculous. They asked us if we had a lawyer together and said we can't disclose that, just in the paperwork. Yeah, why they want to know if you? Yeah, look, they trying to cover their ass. They trying to cover their ass. At the end of the day, these companies do not give a fuck about you. When y'all call and these people be like, "Oh, I'm just trying to help." No, they're not. No, they're not. At the end of the day, a company's bottom line is its company. It's profit. That's their bottom line. They don't care about you, the consumer, or what their payments are doing to your finances, or what it means for your family if they repossess your car. They don't care about stuff like that at all. What other credit questions you guys got? I want to purchase a home by the end of the year. My credit right now is 649, 629, 600. I got a pre-approval for 3,400. Go to hell. 349K from one lender, but I need to get an approval from the builder's lender. I would like to get my credit up to a better interest rate. What do you recommend I do to increase my credit score within 6 months? So wait a minute. Why do you have to go with the builder's lender? A lot of y'all don't know that legally you don't have to, but these builders will make it fucking impossible in certain communities. And I fucking hate that, because they know how bad these people want these homes. Now, I don't like I'm going to be honest with you, anything 6 months and less, you're not going to be able to boost your score in that amount of time. I'm 1,000% honest with you. And the reason why I say that is because when it comes to home buying specifically, within 6 months of you going to go sit down with this lender and getting approved for this home, you cannot be adding stuff to your credit profile and taking stuff off. Because that's going to force your credit profile to fluctuate, and you're not giving it enough time to settle. 6 months is going to give your credit profile enough time to settle with any changes that you made previously, so that they have an accurate depiction of your credit worthiness, right? So new constructions and the buildings are paying the closing costs. That's the caveat. That sucks. What I will say is you got to understand how your credit score is calculated, right? First of all, you want to make sure that those are your mortgage scores. It's for a lot of people don't know that there's multiple credit scores. They just think that people are reporting your scores incorrectly. That's not the case. There's different credit scores for different things. The cool thing about FICO, and the reason why FICO is so popular, is because FICO offers two options: base scores and industry-specific scores. A base score determines your ability to pay just debt in general, any kind of debt, right? That's usually what you see when you log into like My FICO or Experian or something like that. And then there are industry-specific scores that specific industries look at, like mortgage scores are what home lenders look for, right? Auto scores, credit card scores, etc., right? So you want to make sure you're looking at your right scores. When it comes to your mortgage, the scores you're going to want to look for is your FICO 2, your FICO 4, and your FICO 5. Now, understand the different categories that are used in calculating your scores, because that is going to be what you use to determine where can you get some points from. So there's 5 categories, right? The biggest one is payment history. So you're going to want to look at every single account that you have reporting on your credit profile, not just the open ones. You're going to want to look at the closed ones and the history associated with those. You need to have all of your payment history as close to 100% as possible. If it's an open account and you can negotiate to get the late payments forgiven, try it. If it's a closed account and you think you could probably dispute it to get that late payment removed, try it. The goal is not to remove accounts if you don't have to. Try to rehab them first or have them updated first. And then if that don't work, then you can start talking about removing shit. Now, after payment history, the next largest section is going to be your credit utilization. That is 30% of your overall score. Credit utilization or credit usage is what percentage of your overall available revolving credit are you using? Now, a lot of people think this means per credit card, but it doesn't. It means overall. So if I got 3 credit cards and all of them are $1,000 with a credit limit, right? That means that my overall available credit is $3,000, which means that by the time these cards report to the credit bureaus, my credit utilization needs to be less than $30 overall, not per card. And I know that's not 30%, right? Everybody's like, what the fuck? I thought it was 30%. It's not. I know 30% is kind of like the standard that they've convinced you that you should not go over, but that's really not how credit utilization works. The lower your credit utilization, the better. The more points you get, but you don't want it to touch 0, right? You want them to see that you're actually using these cards. But the lower your credit utilization is, the more points you're getting. And if you're probably still watching this, right, this means that you need as many fucking points as possible. So you want to have your credit utilization as low as possible. What this means, and I'm not telling you not to use your cards, I'm actually telling you the opposite. I encourage you guys to use your credit cards only if you don't have a discipline issue. That's a completely different conversation. Now, if you're using your credit cards responsibly, change when you pay your credit card in order to change what your credit utilization reports as. That way you don't necessarily have to change your spending habits. All you got to do is change when you pay. And what I mean by that is this. Most cards once a month, right? They report to the credit bureaus and they say, yo, just so you tracking, they used up this amount this month. Thank you for the rose. They used up this amount this month on a credit card. I'm just here. I'm here for you. I'm here to tell you, let you know. And so if you pay your balance down before you even get to that part, so if you pay your balance down before your statement date, before they go tell the credit bureaus how much of your money you're spending, what it means is a lower balance will report to the credit bureaus, which then means a lower credit utilization will report, which then means you are maximizing the points in that section. Does that make sense? So like, if I have a credit card that has a credit limit of $1,000, and matter of fact, my Coachella tickets come out on Friday, right? It's 500 and how much is it? 260. Alexa, what's 260 times 2? Oh, she's not gonna answer me. She's got attitude. Anyway, it's a lot of money. It's like $500 something. So if I put that on my card and don't pay it off, when my card reports to the credit bureaus, it's gonna tell them, yo, she used $530 something. Just so you try. I just want you to know. However, after my payment comes out, because it's on automatic payments, after my payment comes out, I instantly make that payment. Like, I don't even let that shit sit. Soon as I get the notification that it comes out, I go in and I make a payment, or I schedule a payment in the same amount because I wanted to come back the fuck out. I don't even want them to get the opportunity to report to the credit bureaus that I used up that much money. That way, when they do report to the credit bureaus, it's going to report as low utilization because they're not even going to see that purchase because I paid it off. So what's the point of reporting it? And then after your statement date, you can pay your card completely off to avoid paying interest if that's what you want. But you got to change when you pay so that you are kind of maximizing those points without having to alter your spending habits, because that's not the problem. We tried to open a PenFed account, but they wouldn't let him open it. And they said because his credit profile. Whoa, you got denied for like a checking account and a savings account because of your credit profile? Or did you apply for like a credit card? I have an account that's been reporting charged off for 3 years consistently. Also, the terms are different on each bureau. Is there a way to factually dispute this? Yes, because, I mean, you've already identified some inaccuracies, right? It was only charged off one time, right? So I don't know why it keeps reporting it as charged off. Most companies, though, when you dispute it for that, they're not going to necessarily remove it. They'll probably just update it. However, you said the term is different. So if this one company is reporting different terms to each individual credit bureau, this means that something ain't right. Like if you're going to report to all 3 credit bureaus, that means every piece of information that you report to them needs to match. Now, dates are usually off. They say if the date is more than 30 days apart, that's grounds for a dispute. But things like that, you could factually dispute it. Now, is that going to be enough to remove the account? Probably not, but you never know until you try. Equifax is reporting it as a auto loan, and it's not. That's an inaccuracy. When it comes to disputing, it's not, is this your account? That's not what they're asking you. When you initiate a dispute, that's because you have identified either an inaccuracy in the way that this account is reporting, an error in how it's reporting, or a violation of your consumer protection rights. Those are the grounds for initiating the dispute. And you've already given me a couple reasons, a couple inaccuracies that you've been able to identify. And so that's grounds for a dispute. Yeah, for the checking. That's wild. I've never heard that unless like somebody had like debt with check systems or something like that. That's crazy. But okay, so whenever you apply for something, and this is like a tip I give all my clients, right? Everybody, when y'all get denied for something, like, and trust me, I'm guilty of this too. Like, let's say I go car shopping and I get denied. You know, like a week or 2 weeks later, you're going to start getting them fucking letters in the mail telling you you're denied. And a lot of times I just shred them because I'm like, but you already told me once. You're not about to tell. You already told me no once. You're not about to tell me twice. However, denial letters or emails or whatever the case may be are very, very useful. These are called adverse action notices. Whenever anybody, and this goes for employment, this goes for lines of credit, or even insurance, whenever you are denied for something and your credit plays a role in your denial, so your credit was the reason why you were denied, they literally have to send you something known as an adverse action notice. An adverse action notice not only will tell you what your current score is and give you permission to request it, because legally they only have to give you one free credit report a year, right? However, because you applied for something and were denied, you have the option to request a copy of your credit report. And then they also have to tell you exactly what on your credit report made them tell you no. Now, a lot of people just throw this shit in the trash because they're like, all right, well, you told me no, that's it. That's the end. If you read the information that they send you and fix the things that they tell you to fix, you can then reapply. It's super easy, but a lot of us aren't reading our denial letters. We'll just be like, well, I got denied. Why? I don't know my credit. All right, but what about your credit? Maybe your revolving account balances were too high. Maybe you had too many inquiries in a 12-month time period. Like, it will literally give you the key to success. All you got to do is just polish the lock up a little bit so that you can see where the key go, literally, and reapply. Now, I also want to bring up something that I haven't talked about in a while, and somebody brought it up the other day, but getting a redetermination. Sometimes when you apply for something and you feel as though like, no, like that can't be right. I know I qualify for this account. Maybe if they take a closer look. A lot of times you can call customer service after you've been denied and you say, hey, I need to speak to your redetermination department because I feel like my credit profile gives me access. I qualify for this account. I don't know why y'all told me no. And then when you get on the phone, they'll have someone go through and look at your account to truly decide on whether or not they're going to give it to you. A lot of times when we're filling out these online applications, there are screening processes, right? That will screen certain things on the credit report. And when it comes back, instantly denied. But if you have a person actually look at your credit report, you might get a different result. You never know. It never hurts. They already charged you the inquiry. They're not going to charge you two. They already have access to your credit report. They're not going to pull it again. So since you were already charged the inquiry, make them niggas look at it. Make them look at your credit report closer. You never know what you can get when you request a redetermination. I have a charge off from Community that was closed. I paid, but it doesn't show that with the OG code. Can I dispute directly through the creditor? All I ever get back is this account has been sold. So when you're saying that it doesn't show that it's paid, like the balance is still there. Because with a charge off, even if you pay it, the account is still going to report it. So if it's reporting and you want it off, that's something different. But if it's not even reporting that you paid it off, that is a problem. A lot of times the responses you get from a creditor too are automated. They assume what you mean when you send in your dispute letters, and then they just send off their generic response to that. It's like when you go to call T-Mobile and they be like, how can I help you? And you be like, can I speak to somebody in customer service? And they send you to tech support. Like, right? Like they assume they know what the problem is and they're giving you the answer to that issue. But that may not be your issue. And if that's the case, then that means send the same letter, but tweak it. Be like, thank you for your responding to my initial dispute. However, the information that you provided me did not answer my question or solve my issue. What I said was, and then repeat your request and then tell them what you're looking for exactly. All you want them to do is update the damn account to show that you paid it. That's something simple. I'm tired of these credit bureaus and verify that belongs to you. No, seriously. But you know what? You bring up a good point that I'm noticing that I have when I'm talking to people, like when I do the audits and stuff like that. So when I do credit audits, these people aren't my clients. These are people who are working on their credit themselves or want to work on them credit themselves, and they just don't know where to start, things like that. And what we do is we get on Zoom and we're sitting here talking, and I go through your entire credit report. I tell you what letters you should be sending, what responses you might get, what's your best option for building, stuff like that. And we're talking, and a lot of people who have already started the dispute process and then come to me and we're having the conversations, they confuse the level of responsibility between the credit bureaus and the creditors. Those are two separate people. Credit bureaus can only verify, not validate. And what that means is you got to think about the credit. I always, y'all gonna laugh, but I always say that the credit bureaus are like the president. You think he got all this power, right? Because he has like this prestigious position of authority. This nigga ain't got no goddamn power. He can't do nothing without running it past other people. They have no power. It's a hollow position. All they do is repeat the information that a creditor sent to them. So when you initiate a dispute with a credit bureau, so you said, so if I go to a credit bureau, I'll be like, yo, Experian, I don't know. I ain't never seen this account before. Can you look into it? They be like, all right, we'll look into it. Hey, excuse me, Santander, did you mean to say this? And Santander gonna be like, yeah, I meant to say that. Okay. And then they gonna come back to you like verified. Because we verified that the information that we are currently reporting was purposefully reported to us for you. That's what the credit bureaus do. Now, the creditors are the data furnishers. They are the people who populate the information. So when you guys are sending in your letters to the credit bureaus and it's coming up verified and you're not getting nowhere, that's because you're repeating the same step over and over. After they tell you, like, look, this is verified, the first thing out of your mouth needs to be, well, who did you talk to? This is called a method of verification letter. Where did you get this information from regarding my account that verified it? And they'll tell you, oh, if you got an issue with what they're telling us, reach out to these people right here. That's who we talk to. So then you would go to the creditor and you'll talk to the creditor and initiate a debt validation. That is something different. A debt validation means they need to prove the validity of this debt. Is this a legitimate debt? Do you have the right to report and collect on it? After I return my car and I don't pay for the remaining debt, will I go to jail? That escalated quickly. Okay. So, first and foremost, a voluntary repossession and an involuntary repossession has the same effect on your credit profile. Let's start there. If you voluntarily surrender your vehicle, you are still going to be hit with the same consequences, right? That you were hit with if they came and took the shit from you. So that's the first thing. Second, if you turn in your vehicle, they sell it, they subtract whatever they sold it for from what you owed, and you still have a balance. Now what? The account will still be considered repossessed. The account will be charged off, and they'll give you like, hey, this is what you have to pay us. Now, let's say you don't make the payments. A lot of times what happens is they'll hold on to it. They'll try to reach out to you a couple times. And then sometimes they may sell the debt to a collection company, or sometimes they might take you to court. Now, if you go to court, they get a judgment entered against you, you don't show up to court, or you still don't pay, then a lot of times they'll try to pursue like a wage garnishment where they'll take money directly out your check, kind of cutting you out the picture. They'll take, the court has to authorize that, though. Only a court can authorize things like a wage garnishment or taking your taxes or whatever the case may be. A company cannot make that decision. But I've never seen nobody go to jail for a repo. Now, if this was like child support debt or something like that, or like some kind of federal debt, I could see that. But not for a repossession. I do see them suing the shit out of you, though. Like, I see that could happen. Does that happen a lot with court? Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I'm actually in the middle of a court case myself. And when I went to court and like, there were like 20 names they called in front of me and nobody showed up. And every single one of those cases, because nobody showed up, went in the favor of the business. So the business won instantly. And all right, y'all won, whatever. They're going to pay you this amount of dollars. And if you don't pay in a certain amount of time, then that company can come back and request a wage garnishment. Could you imagine what you in here for? Oh, my car got repoed. Okay, so listen, fun fact. I've been arrested before on a FTA, which is a failure to appear. It was for traffic court, and I was late. I tell you, I'm late to everything. I was late to traffic court in a predominantly county, right? So I'm in my scrubs. This was when I was going to medical assistant school. So I'm in my scrubs. It's filthy in there. I don't want to touch nothing, nobody, nothing. And I'm just like, oh my God, I felt like I was dying inside. And these were like hardened criminals. And I'm just sitting there like, what you in here for? I got to court late. It was Baltimore County and it was Essex at that. I got locked up out Essex. They had to take me out Dundalk because Essex does not house females. And it was just a mess. It was a mess. But it was all these criminals and they looked like criminals. And I was just sitting in there. I think, how old was I? I think I was like 20. I was either like 19 or 20. And I'm standing there like, what you in here for? I was late to court. Like, bro, no, for real, dirt dog. Oh my God. I was so distraught. It has a $0 balance, but when I reach out to Community, they say Portfolio is the owner. I paid them last year. I disputed it in they updated as zero balance transfer, not paid, but I want to dispute it off. So that's different. Community Bank, and I can tell you this now with confidence, Community Bank is not going to remove that account. Number one, Community is considered the original creditor, right? They're the OG creditor. They're the people you originally owed. And we've talked about this. Original creditors have something that is known as a duty or an obligation to report the history associated with the account, including the fact that the account was charged off. Even if you pay it, they're going to report it. That's why they don't do pay to deletes, because they're supposed to report the history associated with the account. So they're not going to remove it. Community is assholes anyway. Now, if it went to collections and you paid the collection company can stop reporting the fact that it was in collections, right? But that original charge off is still going to report. Experience no verified jack. They just be lying and sending templates, pot calling the kettle black. So I've just decided the bureaus are dusty. Oh my God. Oh God. I'm fucking dead. Not the bureaus are dusty. That just made my entire day. I can't wait to text that in my group chat. Next to that steam plant. Yes, the shit plant. That's what it is. It's a shit plant. I'm not trying to pay the remaining fee. Is the debt collector the same as hospital debt collectors? No, it's not the same. Medical debt and regular debt are handled differently. They have the same amount of law. I mean, the same law applies to them. However, with medical debt, they have even more laws that apply to them that don't apply to repossessions. So, I mean, if you really want this repossession off and you like want to kind of look at your options, the first thing I'm going to say is look up your state's laws regarding repossessions. Look at what's supposed to happen during a repossession and then look back on your process. Bonus points if you got like paperwork and stuff like that with dates on it. But like, look at how a repossession is supposed to happen and then look at your process and identify what actually happened. And then compare the two. Did what was supposed to happen? If not, you can argue that was an illegal repossession and you can use that question mark, right? That question mark on the account to try and get it removed. The only thing I will say is once you start disputing repossessions, you're in really muddy waters because repos are the most sued debt. Like if you go on Pacer, literally the majority of the stuff that I come across on Pacer is repos because people try to dispute them off and they're like, by the way, not only do I have your original contract you signed when you went and bought this car, but now I want all my coins today and they're going to sue you. Literally Experian just says updated. They don't say anything anymore. No. They literally don't say nothing. They just be like verified. What is someone supposed to do if they are a junior but don't use junior so the father debt is affecting them? Then they need to start using junior. I literally just had to have this conversation with a newer client of mine, but he never uses his junior. And I was like, well, is it on your driver's license? And he was like, yes. I said, then you need to be using it because when you don't, a lot of people think the bureaus are dumb, right? The bureaus are fucking idiots, right? And I say that because they don't take all of the information into account. They prioritize, and if you've ever attended one of my webinars, then you know the little chart that I show everybody, the order of precedence that they put your personal information. It goes like last name. One of the bureaus, it's last name, first initial, address. So obviously you and your dad got the same last name. Y'all got the same first initial. Y'all got the same address. It's really, really easy for you to have what ends up being known as a merged credit file. And so in those cases, you might want to start differentiating yourself from your dad, change your name, or start using that junior. That identifier is very, very important. Very, very important. And this means once you start using it, so you can report it to the credit bureaus yourself by sending in a letter with a copy of your driver's license and some other identifying piece of information. And before you do that, though, you're going to want to go to every single one of your lenders, everybody that you pay every month, every bill that you pay every month, and you're going to go to them and you're going to add junior onto your account. And then you're going to go and send in this personal information update and wait for them to update your accounts. And then all the accounts that were not yours and they belong to your parent, you're going to do a debt validation. With that debt validation, the big thing you're going to harp on is the identity of the person who opened that account. Most times when you open an account, you have to provide a driver's license or something with your date of birth. You can prove that it wasn't you because your dad was probably born in like the 60s, the 50s, the 70s, and you weren't born until like the 90s. You get what I'm saying? So, but that would be like the process for that. Yep. Should I just pay off the car or return? That's a personal preference question. That's something you're going to have to look at your finances and kind of make that decision for yourself. My parents don't have any collections. I'd love to merge. I'm dead. No. Oh, what y'all get for Prime Day? Y'all know it's Amazon Prime Day. And what did y'all use y'all credit cards to buy? Literally nothing on the community charge-off match, the DOLA, the payment history, nothing. I just wonder if they even still have my account history. You could always do a debt validation. If you do a debt validation and they can't prove the debt, it's coming the fuck off. A negative balance. Close. Funko Pops. LOL. Not. You make me sick. You make me so sick. I didn't get shit. I was not impressed. Past 2 years, Prime Day has been sorely lacking. Sorely. But y'all girl is an Amazon. Y'all girl is an Amazon approved shopper. I haven't put my link up yet. I literally just got it done like probably 2-3 days ago. I'm a verified Amazon like shop or whatever, so y'all can use my link to make your purchases. So like if you click on my link and you go to something and you buy something within like a certain amount of time, then I get paid for whatever you buy. So if y'all got something you want to get, start a thread up in the Facebook group, post the link. I add it to my little shop. You can just go in there. I only get pennies based off of every sale, but help us out. I don't have a need for anything and I'm trying to be better at budgeting. I got a lot of stuff so what I did was I put stuff in my cart. And so like throughout the day, I've been checking the prices. I did get a notification that something in my cart, the price went down. And we ended up getting it. But that was it. That was like one thing. The one fucking thing that I really want is a bread maker. I don't know if y'all seen that video that's going around. It's definitely sitting in my cart. That price has not moved at all. Not even a little bit. Oh man. Whoa. Sorry. Let's see. What's this? Okay. I'm just checking the comments, making sure I'm answering everybody's questions. How long have I been live? Oh, an hour. Okay, good. Yes. We were just talking about that earlier. You must have gotten here after that. So we were talking. So somebody said, wait, did anyone see the lady from Houston, Texas that was arrested for credit repair fraud? Yes. And let me tell y'all. So y'all know I'm in a bunch of different groups, like home buying groups, credit repair groups, stuff like that. These groups are in a fucking uproar. Do you hear me? And there's a couple groups she was in too. First of all, this lady made $3.3 million, bro. Shout out to her. Like, girl, you were grinding. $3.3 million. Now, to the real, what she did was fraud. Like, and it's so crazy because like when you read the comments on the articles, on the posts, when they post the story up and you read all the comments associated with it, everybody's mad that she got hemmed up. Oh yeah, I think they already said she bailed out. Like, she good. But she broke the law. At the end of the day, she broke the law. So yeah, she got arrested. It don't matter that other people doing it. It don't matter that she was helping people. It don't matter that the government's been screwing us over for years. None of that fucking matters. They are very, very clear on what credit. First of all, there's something called the Credit Repair Organizations Act that outlines what credit repair companies or entities can and cannot do. She broke a couple of those laws. Not to mention, she committed fraud by filing false fraud and identity theft complaints. Bro, like, those are felonies, and you was just doing it. She said, who we talking about? I need a sugar mama. I'm dead. Oh, shit. You ain't gonna want no sugar from her. Like, woof. At the end of the day, she broke the law. We all, like, if you run a legit business, bro, you, like, even if your business is not legit, if you run a credit repair company, you know what the laws are. You know. But a lot of people are choosing the money over the values, right? They're choosing the money over over what's going to happen to these consumers that she helped out, right? So all the people who she was filing false identity theft complaints and false fraud complaints and stuff like that, all of those people, what's going to happen to them? Because the police obviously have evidence to support their claims. They're not just going around saying shit. So they got evidence that she committed fraud in the act of repairing these people's credit. And I'm guessing they probably have evidence of people who know that she was committing fraud and just did not give a fuck because they wanted their credit fixed. So now what's going to happen to them? You get what I'm saying? It really just depends on how the investigation goes. It really depends on the scope of their investigations and how deep they want that shit to go. I definitely think they're going to make an example out of her. And that sucks, right? Because again, So many fucking people are doing it. And it sucks that she was the one that got caught, but they're going to make an example out of her. And I feel so bad for her. I truly, truly do. Now, some of these companies also might want to seek restitution. So like she would be forced to pay back some money, or the consumers who utilized her services, depending on the investigation, again, could be sued for the money that was forgiven, right? So, or erased. So this is probably one of the bigger cases that I've seen since I've started doing this professionally. So I'm definitely like invested. I've been looking at every article that comes out, every case analysis, all that shit. Like I'm invested. I want to see what happens. You make me sick. A lot of people are getting in trouble lately this year. You know why, right? You know why? Heaven. You know why, right? So y'all know post-COVID, y'all know COVID, everybody was in the house. So when you ain't got nothing to do, you're going to be minding everybody else's business. And they saw how all these people was making money. And I can tell you now, as somebody who, that was when I got into the space right before COVID of turning this professional. I used to do it informally, like helping people out and shit like that. But I really considered making it a business in 2019, which was right before COVID, because that was when I retired out of the military. I was hesitant, but I started entering into those conversation spaces, right? These Facebook groups and things like that. And so when COVID hit and the pandemic hit and everybody lost their jobs, every credit repair guru, business aficionado, all of them were in the groups like, listen, now's the time. Start giving classes. Start teaching people how to fix credit. Start signing people up to be credit repair specialists. And so everybody and their mother dropped a course, and then everybody and their mom took the courses, because we didn't have, people didn't have no money coming in. So they wanted to get in here because y'all was saying y'all make millions of dollars doing this shit. Everybody was looking for a hustle during the pandemic, right? Now, a lot of people who was looking for these hustles they just wanted a hustle. They didn't want to make this into a thing. They want to make this into a legitimate business, but they just fell into it and started making money hand over foot. They didn't understand the processes. They didn't understand anything associated with this industry. They just got into it for the cash. And so those people keep doing it for the cash, and they keep getting greedier and greedier and taking bigger and bigger risks. And this is what happened. Did you have a mentor? I used to have a mentor. What I will say about this industry, right? And y'all know, so for those of you who don't know, because I have not announced it on like Instagram and stuff like that, but I started a mentorship program because I want to be the mentor that I needed when I first got into this. I had a mentor in the beginning. Everything was really cool. But I feel like the industry cost me my mentor. If you want me to be clear, like a lot of people felt some kind of way. A lot of people I really don't like saying this word, but for lack of a better term, they were envious of what they perceived, I guess. I don't know. In other words, other people cost me my mentor, bro. And I definitely thank her for the information that she's definitely provided me. And I mean, since, I've kind of went my own path, I've definitely seen, a lot of success, and I've grown a lot as a specialist and as a business owner, but it's nothing like having somebody walk you through those beginning steps. You feel what I'm saying? Because she is the reason I know about Croa. She's the reason I knew what I needed to stay legit as a business, to know that, because, you see everybody else selling CPNs, you're like, damn, I want to get into it too. Or you see everybody else selling trade lines and shit, and you're like, damn, I want to get into it too. She was one of those people who was like, listen, I'm not telling you what to do, but this is what the law say. She allowed us to make the decisions that we wanted to make, but she made sure that we had all of the information that we needed to make an informed decision. You don't have to. So I'm so weary of uploading my social security card to the credit repair program. So I can't speak for everybody else. For me, your social security card is only required if what you need worked on requires me to have access to your social. Does that make sense? Plus, okay, so here's another thing. And I say this to people all the time. I had a lady, she cussed me out. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. She cussed me out. And I let her have it. But I had a lady, she was interested in services, went through this whole thing, got on the call to finish her onboarding. And she was like, well, why should I choose you? I said, excuse me? She's like, why should I choose you to be a credit specialist? I don't trust people. So like, you got to convince me. I said, ma'am, I am not a fucking Pokemon. You don't have to choose me. If it's between me and somebody else, please choose that other specialist. By the time you come to me, I need you to have all your trust issues worked out. I am not your ex, right? I am not all the people that you see on social media. I can only be me. But if you come into the relationship with whoever you choose to be your credit repair specialist or your financial advisor or whatever it is when it comes to your finances, you got to go into that with trust. You are giving people access to the most intimate parts of you. It's shit on my credit report my mama don't even know about. You really think if I don't trust somebody, I'm going to give them access to that? If you don't trust people enough to be comfortable giving them what they need to do the job, that means either you haven't done all of your research or you might want to do this yourself. That's probably your best answer. Yes, like, and I didn't mean to offend her when I said that, but she offended me when she said that. Like, and she cussed me out, and I ate it because I probably shouldn't have said it that way. But at the end of the day, I am not the reason that your trust is shot. I have done nothing but be open, honest, and transparent with all of you, whether you're my client or not. So I don't deserve a lot of the reservations people have. I don't deserve being forced to do a step and dance. Like, I don't have to do any of that. Do you do payment plans for your services? I do not. I apologize. I do not. If God don't do it, it won't get done. Marcus. Are there 3 or 5 top laws consumers need to know about credit that needs to be taught? Consumer law in general, like, I can't even say it's one law you need to know over the other one because everybody's credit situation is different. So whatever law you need at that time might vary compared to the person next to you. But the 2 things you for sure need to know of are the Fair Credit Reporting Act and the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, the FCRA and the FDCPA. Just those 2 laws alone can carry you through a lot of the repair process if you understood. A lot of y'all buy templates. It'd be so funny when I get on these lives and I'm in these groups and they're like, well, yes. Oh my God. Oh God. 609 and 611 letters. Like, y'all don't even know what's in the letters. Y'all don't know why you're sending it. You're just repeating what you're told. So somebody said, all right, girl, send this letter, then this letter, then this letter. And so you did exactly that and you didn't get any results. And so now you're frustrated and confused because you don't know why. It's because you didn't understand the process behind the letters. And so you don't know why they told you no. You don't know why it didn't work for you because you never understood the process in the first place. And that's the number one mistake people make when they get to working on their credit by themselves. You guys don't understand what the hell a 611 letter is. You don't even understand what the hell 611 means or where the 611 came from. You get what I'm saying? Y'all just doing what somebody else told you to do without understanding what the fuck you're doing in the first place. That's like somebody giving me a bag at the airport, like, bro, stand right here with this bag. I'll be back. And walking off. And then the police come and it's a bomb in it. I didn't ask no questions. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't do my no digging. I didn't do no research, nothing. I just did what somebody told me to. And this is what happens. So you guys have to start doing more research if you're going to be doing this on your own. And that starts with identifying the laws. If you guys are active on Facebook, if you're on this screen right here, like if you can see me waving at you like this, at the bottom of the screen, there's a banner running across. And in that banner is an access to my is access to my Facebook group. It's completely free. It's a group for, like, if you're working on your credit by yourself, if you got any kind of questions, you can come in there. When I say I literally answer every single question, Marcus will tell you, Marcus is in the Facebook group. I am on every single post answering your questions. I'm posting in the group constantly. I go live at least once a week, at least. And all my lives are saved in the group for you guys to go back and look at. There's a lot of documents in the Facebook group. I have the FCRA and the FDCPA in PDF form available in the group files for you guys. There's even some demo letters in the group files for you guys. I have a lot of stuff in there. I just want to say that I appreciate you keeping me entertained while I'm stuck in this training meeting. You are so welcome. I don't know who you are because you didn't give me permission to see your name. See, but thank you. I love that you give your props when due. No, for sure. Is it petty that I just want a session so I can literally chit chat? Okay, so that's so funny you said that because I got this one client and she know who she is. I don't think she on here no more because she be working. But we literally, like, I be trying to schedule her when I ain't got nobody. So, because we literally will sit and talk for like hours. And It's like going to the hairdresser. Like, for those of you who like your hairdresser, like when you go to the hairdresser, it's so therapeutic and like it's like a therapist. So when y'all talking to your credit repair specialist or your financial advisor or whatever, you guys need to have a good relationship with them. Y'all should have that kind of rapport where y'all could just sit down and have conversations, where y'all can just talk about anything, because we have that level of trust. You feel what I'm saying? Like, she trusts me with everything. You feel what I'm saying? And because, and I'm one of those people, I'm very transparent. Number one, I've never knew how to lie. I've never been good at it, ever. So I don't, because I'm not about to set myself up for failure like that. And so like I have no issues being transparent and being open and honest. And so I cultivate those kinds of relationships where they can tell me anything, because I'm finna tell you everything. I'm finna tell you anything. If you come to me with an idea and it don't make sense, I'm gonna tell you that don't make sense. I don't think that's a good idea. However, if you want to do it, this is what you do. You get what I'm saying? My job is to give you all of the tools necessary. My job is not to build the house. I'm going to make sure you got the lumber, the hammer, the nails, everything. But my job is not to build the house. My job is to get the critters out, take all the dirt and shit out so you can lay your foundation down. But that's it. And I'm just there to supervise. You need to appear on my shoulder every time I open up a firm in quad pay. Oh, no, I don't, because you should see my afterpay. You should see my afterpay. You don't want me on your shoulder because I'm going to be like, do it. You've earned it. Hey, Soror, the list I downloaded, was it supposed to be FCRA or just a third party? So it's two of them. I don't know. What did you need, Eartha? What did you need? I want to say you needed the third party reporting list. All of it is still, all of it is in the group files, but the third party list is the thing that say like CFPB. It's like CFPB _ something, 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 something. I would literally give you my kid's socials. She's tripping, but not for real. I wish there was a class on the credit laws. It would clear up so much confusion. I'm actually doing one. Oh, bankruptcy. You need the third party list. You need I got the 2022 list from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau of the third party reporting agencies who provide information to all these different entities. And it's in the Facebook group, and it's also on the website. If you're not active on Facebook, it's $0 and 0 cents, but you still got to go through the checkout process. But it's like if you on the website, Eartha, it's like the CFPB list for CRAs or something like that. And if you're in the Facebook group, it's like CFPB _ something, something, something 2022. So the course that I'm working on, and I know we talked about that. I know we talked about this last week, but instead of doing one big course, especially because after talking to another credit repair company, like I'm really close with her, and we were just talking about like what we hated when we like we're buying courses and like studying and stuff like that. We talked about the things that we didn't like. And one of the things that I didn't like is when I buy a class and I already know all the information they already saying in the fucking class, but I just needed this one section. So I had to pay hundreds of dollars for this one part of the class. I hated that. And so what I decided to do with the course is that instead of releasing just one course, I'm going to be doing it in sections. So starting from the beginning, kind of all the way to the end. And if you don't need a section, you don't need it. You don't got to pay for it. And then if you do need this section, you can pay for this section. If you need multiple sections, then we'll talk packages. But that was one of the biggest things too, because I feel like when I take these courses, they don't really go into the consumer law like I need them to. I need to know. I'm one of those people. I need to know everything. Like I can't just take your word for it. I can't. And I felt like that was lacking in a lot of the courses that I've seen and taken and been a part of. And so I plan on going a lot more in depth. I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm excited. If you've ever attended my webinar, then y'all know. And I've been doing the webinars. I think it was like 1 month when I didn't do one, but I've done one for the most part every month since December last year. And so I try to take that feedback to create what you guys need. It's not about what I want to teach. It's about what you want to learn and how you want to learn it. So I'm really excited. It's really coming along really good. So the first set of classes should be debuting September 1st. With everyone out here getting arrested, I want to know the laws. No, for real. And then, matter of fact, let me see if I can open up the Facebook group now, because Philip been like tagging me and he's been tagging me, or like he'll post these videos in the Facebook group for me to look at and go over. And I love it when y'all tag me in these videos where you like, wait a minute, that don't sound right, because it gives me content, number one. But like, hold on, let me add y'all to the Facebook group. It gives me content, yes. But, you know, it also gives me the opportunity to show you guys why things are wrong, right? Why these things are wrong. And to really break down how to identify inaccurate information and where do you look for certain things. Hold on, Philip. I'm about to look for his post right now. This nigga is, I didn't mean to say that out loud. I didn't mean to say that out loud. Hold on, let me listen to this. So I'm about to make this loud so y'all can hear it. Okay. We could talk in this key right here. Okay. I want y'all to, so we're going to go through these videos. I'm going to share my screen on Facebook and stuff. Instagram, y'all not going to be able to see it, but I'm going to share these videos with y'all. At least you can listen to it so y'all can hear it. Let's see. Share screen, Chrome tab, TikTok. Here it go. All right. Let me turn my volume up. All right, it's up.
Calls and consumer report, even if you're not using it. Closing any credit cards may actually affect your score, right? Because it's not reporting any more on-time payment history, right? Never close them. Never close any credit cards and consumer report.
So let's talk about closing credit cards. So I did a video on this recently. It was probably like a week or two ago on TikTok. If you're following me, the one that looks like T.I. younger brother from ATL with a beard. Stop! Please stop! I don't know why I deal with you. But listen, when it comes to closing credit cards, right? I get it. Now, he's on the right path, but what he's not explaining to you guys is that even if you don't close this account, if you're not using it, the creditor is going to close it anyway. And it happens to a lot of people. Now, he's right. When you close an account, it's no longer reporting open and active. So now, instead of it reporting every single month and adding to your credit worthiness every single month, it's now listed as a closed account, and it's only going to report history, which doesn't have as much of an effect as having an open, actively reporting account. Because yeah, you paid this bill, but what bills do you have now to show me that you continuously pay your bills on time, right? And so closing your account, a lot of people frown on it because you lose points. But what they don't explain to you is that if you've been building properly, you get those points back over time. Your profile just has to adjust because this account is no longer reporting as open. It's not going to tank your score and keep your score down. If you're doing everything else you're supposed to do, score go right back up. You'll recapture those points. But there's no point in you having an account that you don't use. Because the more you don't use it, the higher of a risk it is for them, and they're going to close your account. And I would rather you close your account and you control the fact, like you control when you're going to lose the points, you control the comeback, right? As opposed to you going to go sit down at the closing table next week on your dream home, and all of a sudden this account is now closed, and the account is closed, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't get those points back in a week. It's not going to happen. So I'm going tomatoes. I get why people don't want to close accounts, but if you are not using these accounts, they're not valuable. When it comes to credit cards, they are only valuable to you if you are actively using them and using them properly. So I'm going ahead and get this video dumbed down. Let's see if I can show the next one. I just want to be the first one to take this course, but I'm so hyped for this course. I'm not going to lie. I've learned the concept behind so much because of you. Oh, don't make me cry. Y'all remember when my book came out and y'all like made me cry? I remember that. Y'all was so nice to me that day. Now I just get bullied by Philip talking about my accent. Once I pay them off, I'm closing Merrick and Credit One. Yeah, I don't blame you, because here's the thing. Like, if, for example, and I use this example all the time, right? Nobody fucking shops at JCPenney, bro. But I swear, I feel like that's everybody, like, first little scorecard. JCPenney, Macy's, or like a lot of older people, when they go to buy one thing from Home Depot, they be like, hey, you can save 15% on this right here if you apply for a credit card. And so then you apply because you just want a discount today, not understanding the ramifications of that action, right? And so you get these accounts, you don't fucking use them, and then randomly they close and cost you points. Like what the fuck? Like, that wasn't the point of me signing up for this account. So one, stop signing up for accounts that you guys aren't using. Your credit card should reward the spending you're already doing, not encouraging you to spend more. So if you don't always shop at these stores, it's no point in even getting these store cards. And if you're not the type, if you don't trust yourself with a credit card, or if you have discipline issues with like managing your money, don't get a credit card. And then if you're not going to use the credit card, don't get the credit cards. Like, it makes no sense. But keeping a credit card, knowing you don't use it, knowing that there's a risk that they're going to close it, that's ridiculous. Let's look at this one.
What's going on? Here's
Hold on, let me share it. I got it. I gotta share it. Hold on. It's the same guy, and I feel like they're gonna think I'm picking on him, and
how to
that's
get a
not what it is.
$10,000 or more up to $25,000 credit card need federal. So what you do, you wait till 1 to 3 o'clock in the morning, go to their website and do a pre-approval. Requires no hard inquiries. We don't want no more hard inquiries. When you do that, if you are pre-approved, right, you can pick whichever credit card that you want off the list, and then as long as your TransUnion is good, they will approve you for at least $10,000 to $25,000, depending on how strong your credit profile is. Right? Here are all the pre-approvals that I've been pre-approved for. Right? What you waiting on? Leverage OPM, free gems. What's going on? Here's how to get a 10.
All right. I'm sorry, but that last part took me the fuck out. I'm going right to hell because that last part took me the hell out. Okay. Now, the Navy federal hack is not new. I've heard it a lot. And I've seen it work for some people and not work for others. Some people are like, well, I was denied earlier today, but I applied now and I got through. But okay, number one, whenever you apply for credit, there should be an inquiry. The inquiries are not your enemy. Inquiries, first of all, are only worth 10% of your score. So I don't know why y'all be so hell-bent on not getting an inquiry. Why are you applying for so many accounts that one inquiry is going to make or break you? Let's talk about that part. But whatever. When you apply for credit, whenever you put in an application for someone to look at your credit report, you are going to get charged and assessed an inquiry. It's supposed to happen. They want to see inquiries on your credit, just not a ridiculous amount of inquiries because it's risky behavior. Now, I've heard the whole applying 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because there's nobody really there paying attention. You'll slip through the cracks. But what you don't understand is that if you were never supposed to get that account, you would never get that account. Likely what's happened is probably just like, okay, we noticed you applied earlier. You're applying again. Let me take a closer look at your credit profile to see what makes you think you are qualified. And that redetermination, right, gets you qualified. I don't know why y'all so obsessed with these hacks. And then like to say that you're going to automatically be qualified for $10,000 to $25,000, that's also not true. And he can't. This is one of those things where he's like overstating things, overselling things, because at the end of the day, what you qualify for as far as your credit limit is based off of your income and your ability to pay back that kind of debt. So it's based off of the debt that you already have open on your credit report. So if you don't have any debt, this is the first card you're applying for, right? Other than like a credit card you probably have for a couple of years. Of course, your credit limit might be higher because we know that you'll probably pay us back. As opposed to somebody who got 1,000 fucking credit cards with super high fucking balances. I'm not giving you no $25,000 credit card. You must be out of your rabbit ass mind, because at the end of the day, it's a business. They don't care what your personal situations are. All they care about is what are the chances that I'm going to get my money back. I've heard this hack. Do I believe in the hack? No. If you got to go through all of this about when you want to apply for a credit card, like what time of day, how many times you apply, you need to clear your cookies, you need to this, stop. Just fucking stop. Because you're trying to attack the symptoms, you're not attacking the issue. Figure the fuck out what's wrong with your credit so that you don't got to do shit like this. You don't got to go back and wait till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, get up and apply for credit cards. You can fucking sleep all night. I just think that's so stupid. But I mean, I get the appeal of it, and it sounds good when you get to tell people like hacks and stuff. This isn't new. It's not groundbreaking, and I don't believe in it. I'm just being honest with y'all. I'm going to be refreshing. No, okay. 8:31, 11:59. I'm going to be refreshing. Okay, I promise it's going to be up by September. Like, y'all don't know how hard I've been working on this. Like, I promise I'm going to have it up by then. Now let's look at this last one that Philip tagged me in. Is it this one? Yeah.
These are items that can be deleted from credit report. They know they do not need to be paid for. Check it out. 1, hard inquiries. Extremely easy. 2, collections. 3, charge-offs. 4, medical bills. 5, student loans. 6, bankruptcies. And the list goes on. Late payments, etc. Right? If you're interested, look at my bio and follow me on Instagram. I am certified billionaire. That's my Instagram name. DM me. Let me know what you're interested in.
Alexa, stop. Okay. I want to show y'all something since I'm sharing my screen. I want to show y'all this shit. I literally did this the other day and I was going to do a video, but I felt like that was just me picking at that point.
that's on your credit report do not have to be paid off. You can remove the following items from your credit report with my pre-written dispute letters.
So you see, like, you see y'all see what I mean?
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get right
I
into
did
it.
not mean to swipe. Sorry, I got one of those smart mouses.
I said that I love you. You love me. Yes, I try. Yes, I try.
Oh, I want to show y'all something too. So y'all see how in Instagram, so pretty much what I did was I typed hashtag FCRA into TikTok so that I could show y'all that, like, all these people keep posting the same shit. All of them are posting the same exact video over and over and over. Since Congress passed the FCRA law, you don't have to pay these items back. And if you use my magic fucking letters, it'll be able to get them off. First of all, one of the biggest red flags when you guys are looking at content here on social media, and I know you guys can't see it, but when they're typing out the items that you don't have to pay back and they start throwing in numbers instead of letters, that's them trying to circumvent the algorithm on TikTok, because TikTok has been doing a really, really good job of banning credit repair companies' profiles for the misinformation that they're spreading and the scams that they have been perpetuating, like CPNs, shit like that, right? So whenever you see the numbers and shit in people's like videos and shit, keep scrolling. Number two, all of them keep posting the same fucking video. First of all, Congress passed the FCRA a long ass time ago. A lot of them are making it seem like it's something new because they're just now hearing about it. And so they're assuming you just now heard about it. But the FCRA does not, look at me, please look at me and hear me. The FCRA does not say that you do not have to pay these fucking bills. I don't know how many times I got to say it. I've pulled up the FCRA and literally searched. I've scrolled through it. We've gone over the sections. I don't know what the fuck else y'all need from me for y'all to stop believing this bullshit. The FCRA does not say that you do not have to pay these items back. What it does say is that if debt is not validated, it is illegal to report or collect on. Now, if it's a valid debt, then they can report and collect on it if the fuck they want to. And if you get a debt removed that you still owe, what they're not telling you is that you'll still fucking owe it. And a lot of times this information will repopulate under a new lender because it's been sold to a collection company or to a new collection company, or they'll take you to fucking court. But a lot of them are spreading this and misinformation. But this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, right? This goes back to how desperate a lot of people are. And some people are so fucking desperate, right? For a fix, for a quick fix, a change or something, so that they don't have to change their lifestyle. It's just going to change their circumstances. They don't want to make the actual change. They just want to look like they got their shit together. And you're so desperate for it that as soon as somebody say you don't have to pay it back, since you don't want to pay it back, you're going to believe it. You can believe it. And then it's not going to work, right? You're going to buy their little letters, right? And then it's not going to work. And then they're going to be like, well, you must have did something wrong. Book me and I'm going to do it for you. And then they'll do a credit sweep and get all your shit off for the time being. And the next thing I know, you're going to be reaching out to somebody else like, look, these items are popping back up and I don't know why. Can you help? Please, y'all, do your research. This is why it's so important. Like, yes, I call myself a financial literacy content creator. Yup, proud of it. I get on here and I teach you guys all about credit. And like, I will do whatever it takes to put this content out. And whether you watch it or not, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. But the biggest thing that I tell you guys when I'm doing this content is that you have to trust but verify. You can trust everything I'm saying, but I still expect you to go on the internet and look it up. I still expect you to go and read the FDCPA and the FCRA yourself somehow. You should say, yep, it happened to me. I'm telling you. That's like saying Biden said your student loans are being cleared. You don't have to pay. You know, that's how my little TikTok beef started. So one of my more recent situations I found myself in on TikTok was a young lady made a video. Don't do that. You made me cry. Working with Marquia has been the greatest decision I've made. Oh, don't make me cry. You know I love you. But so how that whole debacle started was she made a video saying that you have a right to refuse your debt and that refusal can get your accounts removed. So then I went in the comments and I started reading the comments about what she was saying and I started asking questions. And she said that the law of permissible purpose was what she used to remove accounts. And so I specifically asked, I said, this, because she was like, oh, article, whatever of the FCRA, right? So I was like, okay. I even did a video where I pulled it up and I read it to y'all. And I said, this is what this law says. This is the law of permissible purpose. The law of permissible purpose does not say that they're going to remove an account just because you refuse the debt. So how do you use the law of permissible purpose to remove accounts. She couldn't answer the fucking question. A lot of these people are just repeating content that they see on this app. They see videos get millions and millions and millions of views, and they want those views. And so they're going to repeat exactly, yeah, the video not available, lady. I'm dead. Like, so they repeat these things because they're trying to imitate. They're imitating other successful credit literacy content creators, right? Not by getting the same education, but by being buzzworthy. They use buzzwords like you don't have to pay, and I can get rid of your student loans, right? And late payments. Y'all know that's a big thing because of COVID was late payments. And so they're using these buzzwords and they're playing off of y'all emotions. Everybody is a mess right now, right? A lot of people finances are a mess because of COVID, and they're just now really starting to come back. And now that everybody wants to buy a home, they're like, fuck, I need credit. I need help. And that's where these people come in. That's where these people come in, and they capitalize on your emotions and your confusion and your desperateness. And they say dumbass shit like that. Literally, all you have to do is type hashtag FCRA on TikTok, on Instagram. And I promise you will see a lot of the same content over and over. And I'm not just saying the same topic. It's the information doesn't change. It's very rare that the information changes. So some content creators will have the same kind of content. But I'm talking, these niggas be going bar for bar. The FCRA since Congress passed the FCRA Act, you don't have to pay these items back. Text credit to 647-647, and I can help you out. What? And you know what's another telltale sign of maybe this credit specialist might not be for you? When you go to their comments, if they're not responding to any comments, or if they just keep saying DM me, or text me, they're not offering explanations. Like, you go on their content and they say these amazing things, but there's no explanations. Or let me clarify, there's no real explanations. It's easy to get on there and be like, well, FCRA 1632 says I'm the consumer and you're the... No, that's not an explanation. Put it in layman's terms. I want you to translate what that law say into what it really means. Show me that you know what you're talking about. Prove to me. They post screenshots of deletions that they got, right? And they think that that's enough. That's enough social proof for people to believe them because it works. Because again, they're playing off y'all emotions, the fact that y'all don't know and y'all not researching. Y'all just trusting what y'all saw on the internet. This person got 1 million views. It must be right. No. Get off the computer and do some research, y'all. It's so frustrating to me to see y'all get scammed like this. It really, truly is. Oh, my scores are mid and high 600s and 2 Amexes. Yes, 2 Amexes. I don't know. It's just really frustrating to me. Like, I'm very passionate about what I do. Very passionate about what I do, mainly because I do it because I like it. I'm not and I tell people, I really feel like that's the difference between me and a lot of the other content creators when it comes to the kind of content that I create. I don't have to lie. This is something that I do because I love helping people and I'm knowledgeable and I genuinely love this topic. And I'm very passionate about fixing the issue that is consumer credit right now in America, because it's no secret that it's extremely exclusionary and discriminatory, right? So my goal in life is to make some kind of difference, even if it's just helping people navigate this space until the space changes. A lot of people quit their main jobs to do this. So this is their main source of income. So they're more inclined to lie to y'all to get what they want because they want that money. They got a quota they got to meet every month. The VA pay my bills, y'all, and I'm very open about that. The money that I get off of this, it's very good money. Don't get me twisted. But it's not the driving force for why the fuck I'm doing this. I'm going to be 1,000% honest with y'all. 1,000% honest with y'all. It's not the driving force behind me creating my content and doing these classes and doing the free. Most of my shit is free. The free webinars that I do every month. Like, what? Like, I don't know. Maybe my priorities are different. Maybe I was raised differently, but I just don't believe in lying to people to get what I want, because I always felt like it was going to come back and bite me in the ass. But a lot of these people are willing to lie and misinform and scheme to get y'all out y'all coins. And it literally could be avoided if you just did a little bit of research. Just do a little bit of research. Just Google. Google is your friend. And if you don't know who to trust when you Google, 2 resources that will never steer you in the wrong direction is the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is the CFPB. These are the 2 entities who are charged or tasked with enforcing the FCRA and the FDCPA. And so it's getting it straight from the horse's mouth if you go to them and get your information. Literally, you can go on their website and just search. It's literally that simple. Informed delivery and certified mail are the best services out there to keep track of disputes, incoming and outgoing. Yes, let me tell y'all something. I hopped on informed delivery because I'm lazy and my mailbox is not connected to my house. And so I got tired of walking the couple of steps to the mailbox every day. And so I got informed delivery. So if I ain't got no mail, I ain't got to go to the mailbox. And then I realized I saw the value in it when one of my clients was like, damn, I'm going out of town and I'm not gonna be able to check my mail. Oh, girl, you can sign up and look at your mail. And then you know what's coming and who it's coming from and blah, 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 blah. So if you are working on your credit, you definitely need informed delivery. Oh, thank you. This is crazy. Like looking at some of the stuff these people saying. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna do this as a video though. Now that I think about it, I think I'm gonna do that as a video. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that as a video so I can really break it down. But I ain't got nothing else for y'all. I've been on here for 1 hour and 45 minutes. What other questions y'all got for me before I get off? Because I was supposed to get back to my schoolwork 45 minutes ago. Let me just say, continuing education classes is not fun. I do this for y'all. I'm just gonna say that. Oh, y'all, it's been a while since y'all seen me. I call it my work shirt. When I do like important like networking meetings and stuff like that, I try to wear one of my work shirts. Branding, right? But I ain't got nothing else for y'all. Y'all got any more questions for me? Going once, going twice, going 3 times? I'm gonna cut y'all loose so I can get back to my schoolwork before my kids come back from soccer practice. It's been, like I always say, thank you guys so much for all the support. Like TikTok especially has really changed my life, and I'm just so glad that you guys trust me with the content that I'm putting out, that you got 200,000 fucking people trust me enough to listen to the things that I have to say, and to, you know, I don't have 200,000 clients, but enough of you trust me enough to become a client. For that, I'm always eternally grateful. It means so much to me to see that my passion isn't in vain, to see that there's people actually listening to what I have to say and taking this information and telling their cousins and their aunts and their sisters and their brothers. That's what I do it for. I do it to affect change, even in rooms that I'm not in, that I've never set foot in. I want conversations to be had about generational curses regarding finances and credit and budgeting and all these things. I don't know. I'm just so thankful to you guys, like eternally grateful for you all. Oh, I think you should. If your name is spelled wrong on your report, how can you get it corrected? So if you send in a personal information update and provide proof that your name is spelled incorrectly, you would send that to the creditor that's reporting it incorrectly. And if you have no idea who's doing it, send it into the bureaus, right? To see if the bureaus will make that change. Make sure you contact all of your open, actively reporting accounts. Make sure all of them have the right name. And if you still can't figure out who's reporting that incorrect information, you're going to have to go through the back door of Experian. Like, you're going to have to, it's a report that's generated whenever you act like you're going to submit a dispute. And I have a video on I think I pinned it on, it's not pinned, I don't think, actually. I think I unpinned it. It's a video on my TikTok page called the Enhanced Personal Information Update. And that gives you more details on one of the more detailed personal information letters that you can send if you've ever tried to update your personal information and it was denied. It's going to kind of walk you step by step through the process of identifying who is reporting that incorrect information so that you can do more of a targeted dispute. Do you offer mentorship? I do. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I have one more slot available for my mentorship program. I offer mentorship, and I also do consulting calls with CROs or credit repair organizations. For those of you who either want to start a credit repair business, or you have a credit repair business and you just want a little help, just talk about it. I offer one-time sessions, and then my mentorship program is based on a 3-month time period. You have to lock in for that 3 months, because I don't feel like I can give you everything in less time than that. But yes, if you click the link in my bio, it'll take you to my website, and there's a button that you can click that's under Become a Client, and it'll say like for mentorship. Click here. But what am I going to eat for dinner? No more questions right now. Just want you to know how much we appreciate you. Thank you. I literally check informed delivery like I check my credit reports every day. No, seriously, it's literally the first thing I check in the morning when I wake up. is my email so I can look at my informed delivery. Well, that and I'm addicted to Amazon, so I need to track my packages because, girl, I need my stuff. You're so welcome. Well, if y'all don't need nothing from me, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. Y'all are so welcome. I genuinely love getting on here, sitting here talking to y'all. Like I just love doing it. To be honest with y'all, like I literally have no other explanation other than I just love being able to come on here and share my knowledge with you guys. I love being able to have this platform and give you guys things that we should have learned in school and shit, right? So, thank you guys so much for the support. Y'all know what I always say, right? Live every day like it's your last, but pay your bills and wear condoms just in case it's not. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I have a pretty hefty week this week. I was surprised that I had time to go live today. Shout out to my husband, y'all, because he been doing the damn thing lately. I mean, he always do the damn thing, but he's really, with me starting classes and everything, he's definitely picked up my slack, and I definitely want to give him his flowers publicly because I want something when he come home. So I want him to be like, damn, you love me enough to talk about me on TikTok. So, but anyway, I didn't even think I was gonna have time today, so I'll probably not be back until Friday. But if I do get some time to go live between now and Friday, I will. It just won't be planned. But y'all know Friday, 6:00-ish Eastern Standard Time, I'll be here, and we're gonna be doing a weekly check-in, a lot of Q&A, and I might have an announcement. Knock on wood, right? I might have an announcement. I am trifling. Let me tell you. You know how, like, well, you don't got no kids, but like, you know how when you want your parents to babysit, and so like you go in your mother room and you sit on the bed and you laugh at whatever she's laughing at, or like look at her TV and act like you're interested right before you ask her for a favor. Yeah, that's what I be doing with my husband. What's going on with the podcast? So I started recording the podcast. I'm having to work around a lot of people's schedules, and I think that was one of the downsides of what I wanted to do with the podcast, which was interview other people, because I like talking, but y'all hear me all the time. So I really wanted to partner with other people. So having to work around everybody's schedule has been a thing. But because, summertime, more people are going to be home, got more free time on their hands, I'm really hoping to finish up this last season so that I can go ahead and drop it. But the episodes are there. And it's actually some really good information. They're very good conversation starters, I guess you could say. But I'm excited for you guys to see it. So on my board, my due by date is I want to drop these like October-ish. I heard you on Michael Benjamin's podcast. I know Michael Benjamin from Clubhouse, actually. And it was like I think it was like around the time like he first launched the podcast that I was on. Shout out to the Cat podcast. That was really cool. But yeah, I haven't been able to drop these episodes because I want to drop the full season. I don't want to just do one episode because we all know how inconsistent I am. So putting it on a schedule just wasn't working for me. So I want to be able to upload the entire season for you guys so that you can kind of consume it to your heart's leisure. But I'm hoping I'll have it all done by the end of the summer. I'll give you guys another update once I got one, but it's coming. It's definitely coming. I even did one with I Speak 1906. I don't know if y'all are big on TikTok or whatever, but shout out to Petty Officer Holland for being my guest on the podcast. We had a really interesting conversation as well. So like I said, I'm really excited for you guys to see it. The school's coming, the podcast is coming. Somebody asked me about merch. I can't remember who it was. If you've been following me for a while, there was a period in time when I did merch, but it was for a cause. And then I just never did it again. But like I had this shirt on. I had another shirt that I did that was like hood niggas need credit too. The coffee mug I did in the video, and everybody's like, oh my God, merch. So I think I'm going to be opening up my store again too, probably the end of the month. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be like notebooks, pencils, if I can swing pencils and pens and shit. Y'all know I already have the planner, but I'm working on 2023 now. T-shirts, mugs, stuff like that. So it's definitely coming in. And I also want you guys to make sure you're following me on Instagram and Facebook because I am going to be putting together a back to school drive. But it's going to be a little different. I'm trying to see if I can get with Amazon to set something up to where if you make purchases, it's sent to a school. Well, I'll have more details later, but y'all know I try to let y'all know stuff on the lives first. But definitely make sure you guys are following me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. I'll put my pins up for you guys so you can see. Sorry, Instagram, y'all already here. But if you follow me I'm on TikTok at themoneyplug.co. I'm on Facebook as Markia B, aka The Money Plug. I'm on YouTube at WWTMPD. What would the money plug do? I'm literally on every social media platform you can think of, y'all. Like for real. I'm even on Pinterest at the THEE money plug. So yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and cut you guys loose. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Please make good decisions, make good choices, and I will see you all soon.